Hello everybody, I'm Raphael Perry and it's time once again for some more of Steve Jackson's Sorcery. Should have probably done this a few days ago. Now, I've been thinking, at this point I should probably just head straight on up the central path and see if I can open the gate into the inner tower. However, if I do want to go back in here, Jig to get through this tower, Yaz to teleport past this one, insects, I can just walk across them. I don't need to counter the spell that controls them, and I'd probably take a lot of damage if I did. I can walk past the Hydra, and then it's... Oh, wait, how did... That's not right. There's something else, isn't there? Is it no, Jig. And I can teleport to... Essentially, I can get to here and without taking any damage, without using any stamina. Although I can't remember exactly how. Now, walking across this bridge to this tower involves taking constant damage. I did not have enough stamina to do that last time. Now I have more. So in theory, I could go back here and check again. That would be rather tedious, especially if I've forgotten how to get there. Because that's the clumsy tower, that's the depressing tower. I need to find a way into... And insects... What's this one again? Is it wind? I'm going to use the gale horn. Oh, I've dispelled that, haven't I? Because I broke the gale horn. Hydra. Okay, I can do this. So I think I will give that a try. But first, of course, I'm going to avoid the Sight Masters. You duck quickly into cover behind a meandering peasant. The Sight Masters have exceptional vision, but you have a gift for remembering which way they will look. You dart left, then right across the square, and the Sight Masters move away. This is not a good place to hang around, so I'm going to skip through this relatively quickly. I'll go through, and obviously I'll be attempting to pray at the very first opportunity. Because otherwise my only alternative is to go back to the Abbey and play Swindlestones of the Monks forever until I have enough money to buy a load of stuff, and that's going to be a nightmare. I don't want to spend something like 2.5 episodes playing Swindlestones, because I'm apparently not very good at it. And obviously for now, I'm not reading these sections because they are very familiar and nothing is changing. Can I pray yet? Not yet. That's great. Obviously, Jig. As long as it's spells that cost no stamina that require spell components, which I have, I can make this journey very safely. Now, why did I get a point back? Do I get a point for counterspelling? If so, I could see how that could work into the fight with the Archmage. Right, moving on. Obviously, through this doorway. Move on. I want to Yaz. Straight away. Don't want to get depressed in here. Where's my Y? Okay, let's... Yeah, so... No, Yaz is invisible, isn't it? So it's zip. Yes. I would love to appear on the other side of the tower. Down this way with the insects. I will... Sure, I'll cast Zen to reduce the amount of harm I will deal to the insects. Obviously, there is a counterspell here. If I cast it, the insects will come to life and I'll be in great, great trouble. Cross the tower. And I think I need to... Right, this is the wind. Listen at the door. Nothing, because I've disabled it. Go inside. All is well. Now, it's not possible to cast a spell here. However, I may be able to cast a spell in here and head right out. So, is the Hydra back? The Hydra's back. It's always back. Right. No M. Okay. Sharp sword, turn to stone, lightning bolt, which I know will kill it. How? No, all good. R, H, Z, W. H is only how or hot. Z is zap. R is raz or rock. W, just walk. So I don't get to cast a spell. I just get to walk out and burn a lot. You run over to the tower before the wind can snatch you away. The sun is beginning to lower and the air begins to cool. Powerful light spills from the doorway. Even from here it is all but overwhelming. Fighting the urge is like walking into a strong wind. Once again, your eyes begin to water and run. I will absolutely pray for healing and try to power through this. Your skin is beginning to pucker once more. Walking into the light takes a huge amount of energy. A pounding is growing inside your head. The heat is overwhelming, but suddenly you feel a hint of starlight. Finally! Okay. Ha! Not knit. No, I don't want to use components that will be consumed. Nip, nap. I mean, this is basically a sun or... Oh! I have been told that always the counterspell is available. The 6. No. So I need to look at this and identify what this spell is. Sap. No. These may be valid counters. I'm not getting sleepy. I'm not going faster. I mean, this does seem pretty hot, doesn't it? Oh, did we really have too hot in here? That don't make sense. Fog. Because I think it's like the sunlight, right? I will try this. You weave the spell. Billows of black smoke emerge quickly from under your cloak. The light that fills the room dims and goes out, but you now cannot see anything. I will move forwards. You move forwards through the dark, arms outstretched in case you crash into anything. Keep on going. You edge further forwards. I will go forwards still. You take another step through the seemingly endless fog. I haven't learned a counterspell yet. I'm going to keep going. You blunder and feel your way through the dark, shadow shapes dancing before your eyes. Then, a moment later, you're outside. The light from the tower reignites a moment later. Oh, bugger. So no, I did learn a counter, essentially. I was correct. This would be the dome. You pause to peer into the depths of the orb. 1,000 shapes dance within, shifting and changing as though you saw reflections from the eyes of 100 different people. The effect is quite mesmeric. So this is a fast spell and can be countered with a not zap. Dop? Yeah, dop. But I don't need to do that. I can just walk past. And the urge to touch it, maybe there's something useful to be learned here. You reach out and touch the orb and find yourself elsewhere. You are standing at the top of a high tower, facing an old man wearing a shabby-looking crown. "Beg," the old man declares. I'm going to end up begging whichever of these I choose, aren't I? You find yourself dropping to your knees, begging like a whining dog. "I will destroy your land. Do you understand me? You will aid me." "Why are you doing this?" You open your mouth to argue, but all that comes out is a single word. "Yes." What follows is a kind of nightmare. You are dragged, fighting inside, placid outside, down the steps of the turret towards a cell and hurled inside. "We will come for you when it is time," the Archmage declares, and that is something I really need to find a good way to protect against. I'm not sure the magic's protection spell is the best way to do it. There's probably something else. You shake yourself. You are back outside the glass dome. I could touch it again. I will not. You walk away from the mesmerizing orb. The path encircles the dome quite freely. Time to move on. The light tower is to the southeast. Yeah, well, I'm not going that way. Ah. Yeah, but if I want to go back... Let's try getting into... Now, what is in that tower again? You climb a sloping walkway that leads towards a door set halfway up a tower wall. The sun begins to dip, heading towards the horizon. You stop at the tower's edge. There is a narrow opening in the dark grey stone. I will look through it. Assassin's sword. Well, you don't... You take off your sword belt because it adds to the width and like put it in your hand. So yeah, make it. So slip inside. Warm breeze. I don't remember this one, so quiet groaning. I don't remember what's in that tower. Yes, this is the skeletons. So the available spells in here, which were not known counters, were rock, dock, and something else with O in the middle. It wasn't walk. Was it dop? Look at the skeletons. Yeah, some have moved. That's fine. Search for room. Help him up. Doze. That was it. And that seemed to work to get me to the altar. But I wasn't able to work out the counter spell in here. I suspected it may have been Z, which may counter res. And I didn't want to cast... Did I cast res actually? I can't here. I don't remember. I think I did. I did in one place. Why am I here? I do not know. The skeleton frowns sadly, then seems to lose interest in you. He looks up at the dark ship. So Ailmon. Okay. God didn't work. Except it made them think I might be Ailmon. Doze worked. Dud did not work. I swear I clicked on the H. Hot. Counters dock. I mean... Their feeble-minded state. Rock. No. So the skeletons keep coming back to life, and they forget everything. 6 count as kin. I don't think it's making more skeletons. And once I got to the altar, I got the number 4 clue. And I got to the altar by casting the doze spell. So I'll just leave and pretend the doze spell might be the 4th spell for the magic gate. So this is yellowish light. Black golden luster. The floor is covered with... Okay, God. God will counter this. That's the wrong G. That's really the wrong G. Okay. So I'm trying to... This is obviously the illusion of treasure. Dud. What counters dud? Probably not one of these, because those two counter each other. Not mud. Not dock. No. Right. Yeah, let's... If I work backwards... No, that's not what I want at all. Huh. Okay. I'll have a look then. Dud. Not a known counter. Okay. In which case, what's available? This is a chance to learn something. Come here, you Esser. Sob. So I don't think any of the summoning spells are counters. They might be. Sus. Sure. Consulting the stars, you bind the magic and a calm voice begins to speak to you. There is nothing to be afraid of here except perhaps your own greed. Now that is possibly a counter, but on the off chance that it blatantly isn't, it could still be though. It would make sense. It would be a very obvious counter. So done the S, done the F. Dock, already a known counter. Summon a goblin. If that's a counter, that's a really weird one. Mud is not a known counter for this. No, don't need to summon a goblin. F, S, D, M, G. Well, that's all of them, isn't it? Right. I'll just leave then. The treasure is merely illusion, of course. You head for the doors. And the tower I do not remember. Let's hope it's nothing too bad. Oh, this is the Chamber of Sadness. Right, yeah, sure. I'm gonna cast Zip again. Then Jig. And I will be teleported to here. I don't want to go there and learn the counterspell to law, because it would probably kill me. Right. Then the Jiggy Tower. And I'm safely out of here with one more stamina than I came in. If I can keep on going until I can pray again, I'll be able to improve on that. There we go. And that gets me relatively safely. Yes, I know I went back up to 14 at one point through this area. And now that it's getting late, I might even be able to sleep here. Wait, move on. Move on. If I'm going to sleep, let it at least be on a bit of solid land. Right, here we go. I will not drink the Blimberry juice because I may need it for a vital dock spell. And having somehow survived once again without food, can I pray? I can pray. Excellent. I'll go back out into the city and dodge the Sightmasters once more. Guards loiter around the flagstones. The early morning sun. No Sightmasters. Excellent. So, you return to the edge of the square. Guards walk this way and that across the space. Is it possible I could go into the warrens and find some kind of treasure? If the Archmage's treasure is hidden beneath here, right, I can go into here. I can take a wrong turn and get sent back. I can go to the house there, meet the woman who lives there, and get sent back. I can't get here. Do I have to go here first and do something? And yes, I could try. Now, since I went back in time, hopefully she won't remember me. I will move into the alleys. I'm not allowed to move into the alley. Why not? Smaller alleys are too dangerous. Can't I go... I know what they are like. Right. I'll look at the alleys. I will not charge and attack the scavengers. Explore the alleys or follow the road. Now, you head into the alleys, cautiously trusting to luck as you choose your directions. As the sun climbs towards its zenith, the winds blowing between the buildings pick up a little. The paths turn this way and that until you reach a fork. You look down one of the alleys, and I'll look right. Look the same. I'll go right this time, because I think that's what took me left to the woman's house. Nope, okay. So I'll go back in and try to the left, and I think they'll say, you're lucky to have made it out alive, mate. Is it randomized? It could... That's a different location. It is somewhat randomized. Okay. You disappear into the alleyways once more, following lanes that seem to switch back and twist in on themselves. The sun has reached its highest point now. After passing several blocks, you begin to develop a sense that there is more land here than could possibly fit. Stopping to turn around on the spot, you see no movement. The buildings are empty, their shutters hanging loose, and a gentle smell of decay drifts across the streets. I'm not going to call out, I'm not going to try and retrace my steps, because that will either get me out of here again, or somewhere else completely, so I'll keep walking. You move cautiously onwards. The alleyways all look the same. You stumble around a corner and come upon a small open square in which a single building lists slightly to one side. This is it. I will look at the house. The building is made of haphazard stone blocks, roughly piled on one on top of the other, into a slightly listing structure. It is, however, most definitely a house. I will... if I ignore it... where could I go then? Ooh. So I'm going to try and get into this building again. Curious, you approach this building. Is this place the cause of the strange disturbance to this area? I need to talk to the woman here and not get thrown out. You approach the house, a narrow 2-story affair that, like most of Mampang's buildings, is showing signs of tumble and decay. As you approach, you notice the front door is slightly ajar. I'll call out. Hello? You call into the house. There is no response, and you cannot hear any movement in the house. Peek in at a window. Glimpsing a kitchen. A few embers lie on the hearth, but no one is cooking. I'll knock. You knock firmly on the door. It swings open further, revealing a shabby hall. No one comes to greet you, so I can either walk... If I have to be inside the house if I encounter her, I will go inside. You walk inside, wincing at your own impropriety. So the house might impose some sense of conscience. Interesting thought. The front hall is sparse, but cared for. Your feet sink into a colourful rug. To your right, there is the kitchen you spied before. Some stairs are nearby. There are several vases of flowers, all fresh. This place is clearly not abandoned. There are a few ways to go. Right, going upstairs was a problem, so I will go to the kitchen instead. You head into the kitchen. It is clean and spacious. Dried meat hangs on the rafters, and a bundle of fruit sits in a basket by the door. A piece of paper lies on the table, which is scarred from cutting knives. There are more flowers here. I'll read the paper. I'm not going to steal the food. Or I could probably really do with it. Oh. You pick up the piece of paper. It is a series of directions beginning from the crossroads, turn left, second right, third left, first right, and so forth. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Right. A guide to the alley, perhaps? I will take it to save trying to memorize that. You put it into your pack. Hopefully, whoever wrote these directions down has now memorized them. I might have some kind of paper I could leave in exchange. I'll go back to the hall without stealing her food. You leave the kitchen and return to the hall. You return to the front hall. You could try upstairs. No, I do not wish to do so. You slip out of the house into the alleys once more. You walk onwards. Once more you tumble out into the crossroads of alleys. Yes! Oh, right. Here. You emerge into the road once more. I will explore. Another new location. Okay. You pull out the sheet of directions, and I will... I love this! Just follow them! Yeah! You enter the alleyways, following each line on the directions exactly, and I arrive near the dome that I wished to visit for so long. And then find out there's been a pirate following me the whole time who's like, finally, you got me through this mess. I've been wondering how bloody long it would take you. The turnings and openings on the map are confusing, but eventually you stumble upon an unfamiliar sight. The bronze dome is not a tent, as you had assumed, but rather almost a perfect hemisphere. Its surface gleams with the shifting glossy luster of liquid metal. I will walk around the dome before casting a spell. You circle the dome, taking in the shining hue and near-perfect curve. You have never met an artisan who could craft anything like this. Its edges disappear into the ground. It could, in fact, be a buried sphere, but you cannot tell. There is no discernible door or opening. Guess what? I got a dop spell. I mean, there's got to be... I'm not going to touch it. That's risky. That's really risky. My hand could sink into it. I could turn into solid gold. Okay, so obviously DOP is the most blatant choice. But what else could be going on here? Sure. Great idea. You sit cross-legged on the ground and put your palms on the orb. Reaching up to the constellations overhead, you create the spell and everything changes. You're holding your sword in front of you, and the sword is half buried in the surface of the bronze dome. I will look at the sword. You long down at the blade. You look down at the blade of your sword. It glistens with something as though freshly oiled. You look at the dome. It does not seem damaged, and there is no seam where the sword disappears into the building's skin. You take a step forwards, and your hand enters the metal surface of the dome and is swallowed up. The vision fades. Is this dome impervious to spells? What would I oil my blade with? What kind of oil do I have that I would need for a spell that I would be wasting? Flask of oil. Okay. Simple answer to a simple problem. As indicated by your vision, you apply a little oil to the blade. It gleams, but the gleam is not the gleam you saw in your vision. That was thicker, more yellowy. Yeah, the whole thing is like a golden yellowy thing. You place your hand on the dome. It is cool, metallic, and you detect a faint vibration beneath your palm. Yeah, let's just on the off chance this will actually work. You never know, right? You gather the constellations into order about you, directing your hand towards the dome, but without a door to unlock. Nothing happens. Teleport inside the dome? But then, would it be the surface of the dome which is immune, or would it be the whole... I'm not going to lightning bolt it. Don't need a shield. Oh, sharpen the sword as well as oil it up. A howl spell? Why not? You cast the spell. A quiet voice speaks into your thoughts. Your sword is the key here, the voice says, and I shall strike the dome. Following the advice from your spell, you strike your sword against the surface. It clinks as it bounces off the bronzed surface. There is no way to cut through the slick surface, and the oil you applied makes no difference. Right. Sure. You're really forcing me here, game. No. I mean, if you want to do it backwards, then sure, you know. Oh, my beautiful beeswax. Using a little of your beeswax, you coat the edge of the assassin's sword and then cast your spell. The blade flashes and glows as the metal binds itself tighter into a razor blade edge. And I'll strike the dome again, hopefully still with oil. You poke the dome with your magically sharpened sword. Somehow the metallic surface yields to the tip of the blade. Yeah, I'm not going to try and walk into it. I'm going to slice a hole into it. You plunge your enchanted blade into the dome. It offers no resistance. Pushing your blade in feels like parting water. I could pull it out. You press a little further, the sword continuing to slide inward until it is in up to the hilt. I probably shouldn't have done that. Oh well. You push further still and your fingers slide inside, the bronze surface enveloping your hand without feeling. I will step in and hope I can get out again. If I pull back, letting go of the sword, my hand may be trapped in the dome forever. Steeling yourself, you step through the dome's surface. There is no feeling as the walls melt away. You emerge into a hollow space inside the dome. And this is probably where the secret vault is buried. Oh, res spell, you say? I see skeleton, right. Must not waste my last flask of holy water. You stand within the dome, a curious warped space the size of a small room. The gleam on your sword edge fades. I may have trouble leaving. Do I still have my blessed beeswax? Yes! That is so good. I don't know how many uses I have, but hey. A skeleton stands in the centre, hand raised towards the ceiling. A strange light emits from the higher of its two hands. Through your feet you feel the same soft vibration you did from outside. The dome is humming. Should I plunge my sword into the ground? The skeleton points towards the ceiling. Or no, hand raised towards the ceiling, not necessarily pointing. And it is standing. You look over the skeleton. It stands with feet apart, clad in tattered sorcerer's robes, with hands cupped towards the ceiling. You cannot see what it is holding, but the glow lights up the room. Is it a sun gem? You let your eyes unfocus for a moment and see channels of starlight streaming through the dome into the hands of the skeleton. Magical power is pouring through its hands and spreading throughout the space. The vibration you feel is the channeling of great power. Then the walls begin to echo with a beautiful voice. "Analand," whispers the woman, "you have found a place of safety." This could be Libra. Or a god spell. The voice is familiar, of course. It is Libra once more. "This place is shielded by a simple, strong magic," she tells you. "I may visit you here and provide you with the visions you may need." What is this place? Hey! "Merely a magic," she replies, "no more and no less." You feel a great calm come across your body. "Rest now," she advises. "Then begin your explorations afresh, knowing you are protected." Damn, I should have asked for the visions. Libra has visited you. You may rewind to this point of the story. I will look at the walls. You trace the edges of the dome. The smooth wall glitters, more gold than bronze, without a trace of the grime from the city, and no trace of the opening you made to come in here. "No, goddess, speak to me." What? Is she not right? No far? Okay. I don't want to counter anything here. Could dock it up. Walk. Sus. No. The danger would be my own foolishness. No, I clicked the Z. I'm not going to vandalize this place. I've really messed up there. You raise your sword and pass out of the dome once more. Great, can I go back in or do I need to use beeswax again? You feel the presence of Libra fading once more. You leave the dome behind and return to the alleys. Darkness closes in. You need to rest, especially on an empty stomach. Wandering blindly, you stumble out into the main track once more. Wait. If I can rewind to here. This is so dumb. Examine the skeleton. Look at the walls. So if I take the skeleton's hands... So if anything bad happens, I can rewind, right? Deaded. Auto kill, obviously. You carefully grab the hands of the skeleton, hoping to glimpse the object it is holding. But the figure is old and its bones are brittle. One wrist snaps off like a twig. Suddenly your chest compresses as if all the air from the room has been sucked out. Starlight bursts from the skeleton's hands, playing across the glittering walls and nearly blinding you. There is a moment of darkness, then sunlight fills your eyes. Yeah, rewind. Rewind. Oh. What? Oh no! You're kidding. I can't... I've lost the rewind? Hang on. Oh, that's actually rather serious. Bugger. Right. You clear your eyes to find the dome is gone, and so have the alleys. Oh, oh, fucking hell. Have I seriously messed up and lost that rewind now? I have, haven't I? Bollocks! That's what I get for trying to be clever. Shit, bollocks. Well, I'm not happy about that, obviously. If I die and cast the Z spell, can I come back here and do it again? That'd be great. I mean, could I just... You stand now in a quiet street lined with small houses. A man leans out of a window, fixing a broken shutter. The rat's nest of alleys you wandered through is now gone, and the bronze dome is nowhere in sight. Oh well. You wave to a man in the window, who peers down at you. What's wrong with your window? The man laughs. Ha ha ha! Don't think you can break into my house, he replies. Reinforce. That's what it is. There's clearly nothing to learn here. You bid him farewell. There is no trace of the dome, no suggestion of the streets themselves in Mampang were rewritten. The magic required for such a task is unimaginable. The purview of legends and gods. If not for what it used to be, you could mistake it for a quiet city street. The main square lies in view straight to the west, while to the east lies what you take to be the grounds of the college. The only evidence of the previous reality is at your feet. One of the skeleton's hands, in its palm is a single gold coin. Is it a normal coin, though? You lift up the gold coin. It is simply that, but with no other magic about it. But now I can cast a walk spell. You make your way easily back to the crossroads, with great regret. So I need to die. Or have I permanently destroyed this now? Because I could die, go all the way back over to, here, obviously. Go get killed by the Hydra or something. I don't think I should die just to check if I can. Look at the alleys. Move on. The scavengers are still here, so... Well, bother. You make your way along the alley. A lane leads off. Darkness closes in. You need to rest, especially on an empty stomach. Yeah. I can't get to the temple before it'll close for the night. So... I'm going to have to go back, follow the road. I could rest by the fire. Or move on to here. Move on. And rest on the other side of the gate. And here I shall take my rest. I will not drink the blimberry juice. It is an emergency supply. The long night is kept busy with visions, and all the while you hear distant laughter from the east. Okay, at least that's it. You gained a bit of gold and found no new clues. And also ruined a perfectly good sanctuary, which hopefully I'll get to... Yeah, the Archmage is still waiting. You get to your feet, shaking away the night. You could explore deeper or escape back to the relative safety of Mampang. Well, by this point, I've pretty much done everything and need to go up the middle. And by middle, I mean the winding path that leads towards the central tower. Obviously, this is all familiar ground. I'm retreading old paths. Keep my hood up, head down, stay out of trouble. I can't even go into the alleys now. Okay, fine. You enter an alley littered with refuse. Buildings either side are leaning or collapsed. In the dim half-light, you nearly trip over two men who are leaning against a wall. They straighten and turn to you. "Seems we have a visitor," one says. The other creeps up behind you once more. I'll bless them because I'm dressed as a monk. They can't see that, but they'll hear me bless them. You raise a hand in wordless blessing. The sightless creature nods its head in reply. "Effort be with you too," the creature replies and stands aside. You continue along the road. A lane leads off. A few clouds scud across the sky. You must keep going. Yes, I must. Ah, my curiosity really got the better of me there. That's not a good sign, is it? You return to the east side of the bustling square. The arch to the merchant's building leads away here. An alley runs past it. A pillory sits to the north of here. As the sun climbs the sky, the winds blowing through the streets rise. Okay, so that's not necessarily a barracks, it's a merchant's building. With my 1 gold piece, I don't think I should really go in there. Even if they can sell something that I really require. You walk over to the pillory. Behind it, a gallows looms, noose swaying in the breeze. The sun is hot now. Look at this ugly sod in the stocks. A prisoner is here, dressed in rags. The skin on his neck and wrists has been rubbed raw by the wood. He lifts his head just enough to scowl as you approach. I'll have a look at him. He is brawny but thinned by the punishment. His shaggy hair is covered in filth, clumping together in places. "Taunt me or beat me all you will," he says. "You will teach me no lesson that a week in and out of this bane-cursed pillory is not taught already. Unless you wish to feed me, be off." He is surprisingly lucid for someone who has spent a week in the stocks. The Archmage can take the form of other people. I think I should leave be. Deciding the poor creature is best left alone, you say nothing and walk away. He curses your back as you leave. You could head out into the square or cut across the guarded road that heads uphill from here. So, we know the Archmage can subjugate Flanker, and indeed ourselves. This is not good news. The sun has reached its highest point now. A few yards from the square, a group of guards blocks the road. They stand sharp and to attention, sheltering in the shade of a nearby hut. 2 of them hold snarling dogs on chains. I'll look at the guards. You take a moment to watch the guards. They stand in a huddle watching the road to the south. You might be able to slip around the hut and take the road beyond without being seen, but the dogs could smell me. You take a moment to regard the tower, unable to repress a shiver. It stands on the levelled peak of the mountain into which Mampang is built. At its very top is a tiny turret room which must have a view across the entirety of High Salmon. One of the guards spies you and stamps forward. The nearest comes out to greet you with a growl. "Well?" The guard snaps. If I cast a spell, they'll see me cast a spell, so it better be good. If I go invisible, the dogs will see me. If I want to at least... I want to see what the spell options are, but it could be you try to cast a spell and screw you, you don't get to. This would get... If I cast a spell, it would get me into such a very high state of alert. Why are there so many guards, you ask? To stop the likes of you from coming past, she replies stubbornly. Where does this road lead? You what? The inner fortress, can't you see it? Okay, if I carry on playing the fool, I might just get away with it at this point. May I pass? Not a chance. Only guards up here, and they have to have some business as well. Try going past me and I'll skewer you myself, however nicely we rub along, she grins. This chattering is getting on my nerves, she growls. No civilians allowed. That includes you lot, brother. Back off. So if I could get a guard's uniform, I'm in. The guard crosses her arms, scowling at you. Other guards mill about nearby. There seems no way past. You head back towards the square. However, approaching guard barracks means a high state of danger. Unless they throw me off the cliff and I fly again. You head over to the north side of the square. Yeah, this would be another great Z time to go back and undo that particular interaction. This section is dominated by the wide road that leads upwards towards the inner tower. Guards flank the way, scowling at anyone who gets too close. Nearby you spy the stocks. A bustling market is in full swing further north. Back towards the main square then. The blazing sun cannot seem to warm this place. I will make a move. Gotta be cautious about casting spells in public places. And now for real danger. You head south from the square towards the large wall that separates the city from the outer yards. This is the southern reach of Mampang's inner city. The sun disappears, heading towards the horizon. There is a very large building just off the road here. The building is impressively grand, with a domed roof that curves up to an ornate spire, and though its bottom floors are filth and slime-streaked, the upper levels are set with beautiful coloured windows and ornate fittings of brass and metal. A sign from the doorway to the building reads Treasury. So, there's no time to waste. Well, you say that, but getting into the Treasury, probably bad idea, heavily guarded. If I go back to the centre and cast an invisibility spell and then... Right, if I cast an invisibility spell right in front of the guards, they're going to notice. But if I cast it at a distance and then walk towards them, and the dogs act up, maybe they'll just think the dogs are going crazy and be like, ah, stupid dogs. And not let them off their leashes and not use them to track me down. I don't know. I think I need some time to think about this. I don't think this has been the most... it hasn't been the most progressive episode. I haven't really made much progress. Haven't learned very much. Broke a really good sanctuary, which I may be able to go back in time to not break. But oh dear, that was a tragic error, and I'll put the episode title be something alluding to that in some way or another. Probably like a grave mistake. Yeah, that'll be it. Right. I'm going to leave this one here then. I hope you've all enjoyed this episode, calamitous though it may be, and I will look forward to seeing you all in the very next one. I'm going to say goodbye for now though, and cheerio everyone. See you all next time.